Welcome back to Coach Kelly Cues. Today I'm going to teach you how to hack squat. I'm going to cue you through, tell you what to do, what not to do, and how to set up your machine. The first thing you want to take a look at is there will likely be some adjustable stoppers at the bottom. They might look a little different. There might be one, there might be two, but typically you want to set them as low as possible. You don't want to be bottoming out the machine. It's only going to shorten your range of motion. And unless you're specifically training a shorter range of motion for a reason, a hack squat is kind of meant to be ass to grass. Okay, so you want to give yourself as much range as possible. Once you have that, similar to like a leg press or other types of machines, typically there are going to be multiple settings, multiple heights for you to set the hack squat on. So you want to make sure that it's set correctly for your height before you load weight on. So this is probably a little high for me. So I'm going to kind of calf raise it up and lower it down to the next setting. And as you can see, the way I control that is pull these handles in and then pull them out in order to bring it back to a stop. Different machines will look different. Some of them might have a little pull handle down here. It might just be one. So just take a look at the machine you're working with and figure it out before you get started with, weight on the bar. Once you have it set to your height, let's say that you test out your first squat and the machine bottoms out and you're not all the way at the bottom of your squat. A lot of times, my short queens, this is a problem for you. So what you can do is you can use yoga blocks. I've seen people use foam rollers to create kind of a barrier between your shoulders and the pads. So basically it tricks the machine into thinking that you're taller than you are, and you can get more range in your squat. You can get deeper into your squat. So what you would do is kind of just wedge them underneath your shoulders, make sure you're nice and secure, and that way you can go as low as you want into your squat. And as you can see, I'm not bottoming out here. In terms of how we want to do our reps, your foot positioning on this platform is going to depend a little bit on your height and also how deep you can bend your knees. So for me, I like a really deep squat with a lot of knee flexion so I can work my quads. So I'm gonna go fairly low on the platform. If I go up a little bit higher, I'm gonna get a little bit less quad, less range, and I'll likely hit a little more glute on this as well. So I'm gonna push up against the platform, release these handles, start with a slight bend in my knees, and then I'm gonna descend down with control, get really as low as I can go while keeping control, and then drive back up and keep that slight bend in my knees at the top, not jamming out into full lockout. Nothing, terribly bad is gonna happen if you lock your knees out, but keeping a soft bend will typically feel a little bit better. You also want to focus on keeping your low back kind of pushing into the machine as much as you can, into the backrest. What you don't want to do is end up in this kind of tilted position where you're sticking your butt out and there's a lot of space between your low back and the machine. Use that as a little bit more leverage. So you're squeezing through your belly and pushing your low back into the machine to the point where you're almost getting like a slight posterior tilt at the bottom of your squat.